know what year I was born? 1918.
I was born in 2009.
Mm-hmm. And in 2018 is next year. So on March the 14th, 2018, I will be how old?
100.
I will be, if I make it till then.
You will.
Will.
Okay, well,
Mom?
we want to say happy birthday, Mom, for
Happy
your
birthday, Sue.
for your 100th, and we hope to see you in the spring sometime soon. So, have a good one.
Have a great day.
Yes. Bye.
And here's
Bye.
Shiloh.
Mom, when we were little girls, we sat in front of your chair while you fixed our hair. I still remember how your hands smelled at that time. I realize now that probably was a combination of pot roast, onions, cookies, and pie crust. But it was unique. If anyone else had slid into that chair, I would have known the difference. Love you, Mom. Happy birthday.
In our nearly 60 years of love and friendship, there are so many things to appreciate, so it's just a couple of memories. I remember courting Sandy and you offering pie, apple or cherry. I said yes, you gave both. I can remember sharing a bedroom with you in a bed and breakfast in North Wales. I can always think of your fantastic memory for the menu of meals past, and probably one of your lastingest memories will be chocolate chip cookies. God love you. Another 10 years together would be just great. Happy birthday.
Hi, Mom. This is Janet. Remember, I used to think my name was Sandy Janet Phyllis because that's what you called us all the time. Just want to thank you, Mom, for being the wonderful mom you've been while we were growing up and bringing kids in the house all the time. And when we needed a new dress, you'd stay up all night long to make it for us. You've just been the best of moms, and I love you. Happy 100th birthday. Bye.
It's your favoriteest daughter in the whole wide world. I just want to thank you for taking care of me when Sandy and Janet were so mean to me and when Bill used me for a football dummy. And I just want to wish you a happy 100th birthday. I love you.
Happy 100th birthday, Grandma Sue.
Well, Grandma Sue, it's great to celebrate your birthday, even if we're celebrating it from afar. As your oldest grandchild, I know you love me the most, and gosh darn it, why wouldn't you? But anyway, I just wanted to tell you how much we appreciate you, how much we love you. I remember many things, since I'm also very old now, but one of the things I remember most is the fact that you always made me tacos. Even when Aunt Sandy told you I could get tacos on my own because I'm from Texas, I appreciate the fact that you always made me tacos. And I'm slowly getting over the hurt that you don't make them for me anymore, but I do appreciate that very much.
Hi, Grandma Sue, and I just appreciate how welcome I felt coming into the Hearn family. It's always been a joy to know you, and everybody that I know, even my friend that came through before Brett and I were married, considered you a Grandma Sue too.
Hi, great grandmothers. I'm a quarter of the way there, and I really liked watching baseball in the living room, watching those Cardinals usually win. Go Cards. Hope it's a very special day.
Happy birthday again. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Party!
That's right. Woo!
Happy first century, Grandma Sue. We love you. We miss you. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Grandma Sue. Shiloh and I wanted to say happy birthday to you. And I enjoyed seeing you 2 years ago for your 98th birthday party. I miss having someone to watch movies late at night with. So I hope I can see you soon too. I hope you have a good day, and thinking of you often. Okay, love you a lot, Tori.
Hey Grandma, we wanted to say happy birthday for your 100th birthday. So here we are. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you.
And many more. Hi, Grandma Sue. I would love to just share some memories that I have of you and being at your house. I can remember loving coming to your house for a week in the summertime and exploring in your attic. For some reason, I remember that. And especially ice cream sodas at bedtime. That was something we never did at home. I can remember how you always, even as we got to be adults, just checked to see what kind of dessert we wanted when we came. And if there were 2 or 3 people coming, you might make a dessert for every single person. So, and when I think about that little tiny notebook that you made me that was full of words to teach me how to read, that was so special. And I just can't help but think that that might be part of the reason, and also the stories of your preschool and kindergarten, that might be part of the reason why I went on to become a teacher and loved to read, and then even went on to become a reading teacher. I'd also like to think that my creativity and love of crafting and sewing came from you, because we all know that you could make absolutely anything. And then most recently, Grandma, when I was able to stay with you, oh boy, have you taken in lots of kids and grandkids and great-grandkids over the years when they needed a place to stay. But I just so enjoyed that time that I had with you. And try as you might, you tried to make me into a Cardinals fan, and I don't think that worked. But I do love Dancing with the Stars now, Grandma. And anyway, I just love you so much, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma Sue. 100 years, that's a long time, and that's a big number. What I think is really important is the number of lives that you've affected. That's a big number too. When you were volunteering at the hospital, the number of people that you've affected in your community, in your family, and that's well in excess of 100. So that's the number I'm really impressed by, the number of people that you've affected during your life, during those 100 years. So happy birthday. And thank you for being part of my life and part of my wife's life.
Hi, Grandma Sue. I just wanted to wish you a very happy 100th birthday. I'm going to be a grandma myself very soon, and I really look forward to my 5-generation picture with you and Mom and myself and Peyton and her little one. So have a great day. I love you, miss you, and I'll see you soon.
Hi, Grandma Sue. Happy birthday! We're really sorry we can't be there for your 100th birthday, but we just thought we'd talk about a few things that we remember about you, things that are special to us about you. So, Ellie, how about you?
Yes. I really like that whenever we're in America, Grandma Sue always likes me to play piano. And I love that we both play piano, so she knows how difficult it is. And I also have the music from when I first started playing piano. Yay.
That's great, Ellie. Callum, how about you? Are there any special things that stand out to you?
Brownies, chocolate chip cookies, and even chocolate cream pie, which is probably the only pie I'm ever going to have.
Fantastic. Now it's Chris's turn, so I'm going to have to take the camera.
Right, so I guess I'm to talk about something I remember about Grandma.
That's right.
Which is when Aaron and I were coming to the UK, we had to drive to Virginia to drop our dog off at Dad's friend Dave Forst's house. And we stopped by Grandma Sue's house on our way out of town and, gave each other a bunch of hugs and said goodbye because we were going to be gone for a year. And Grandma Sue presented us with a ginormous chocolate bar. And we thought, what is this? And she said it was to keep us awake on the drive to Virginia. So, to this day, Dad and I, as we're getting ready to take a long trip, always say, do we have the giant chocolate bar?
That's good. Right, so now it's my turn. And here's the thing, Grandma Sue, it's going to be really hard for me to think of anything in particular because you've been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. I mean, you've lived with us in our house. You and I were neighbors. I've always been able to come over and eat a meal at your house, talk about baseball with you. So it's pretty hard to pick out one thing. But if someone put a gun to my head and said, pick out one thing that stands out, it would be gravy. It would be gravy. Because you've made the best gravy my entire life. You've taught me about every kind of gravy you can have. Bright yellow chicken gravy, meatloaf and tomato gravy for mashed potatoes, and the best of all, bacon gravy for biscuits and bread. So to this day, I make gravy because I was inspired by your gravy making. So thanks for that, Grandma Sue, and once again, happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
So Grandma Sue, 27 years ago for your birthday, you got a Clay Miller for your birthday 27 years ago. I was gonna wait for him and do a clever video with him, but then I heard he did his own video. So I figured I'd bring the Cardinal theme in and let's talk about the Cardinals and how we're gonna win another World Series for your 100th birthday. I think that sounds like a great idea. So let's root for the Cardinals, and you have a great 100th birthday. We love you very much, Grandma.
No, whose birthday is it?
Grandma.
And how old is she?
100.
And so we sing...
Happy
All right. Now, who are we singing to? Who are we singing happy birthday to?
Me.
Me? Who are we singing to? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma Sue. Happy birthday to you. And how old will Grandma Sue be?
100.
Happy birthday, Grandma Sue. We love you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We love.
Hey Grandma, happy 100th. Few things I wanted to, memories that I wanted to talk about. One of them is making tuzzolinis. You taught me how to do that. I'm not sure I can do that as good as you, to taste like how you made them, but anyway, at least I know how to attempt it. And I have the pasta maker because apparently I have a knack for making the pasta with it. I use it every year at Thanksgiving to make my egg noodles. Also, a memory is when we were little kids, when we went to Grandma's to stay, always had chocolate sodas. Every time I tell anybody, my friends or anybody, that I love chocolate sodas, they're like, what is a chocolate soda? I'm like, well, apparently they've never been to the Rexall drugstore in Moberly, and they've never been to my grandma's to spend the weekend. It was double cola, cold double cola, poured in a glass, and chocolate syrup squeezed in it, and stir with a spoon, one of those tall spoons, and then add vanilla ice cream. And the ice cream got icy on the outside and delicious, yummy chocolate sodas. A funny memory that I have is when Papa and Grandma Sue and I went to Famous Bar. We went to West County, and there was a door that we were going to go in, and Papa grabbed a hold of the door. He pushed and he pulled and he couldn't get it open, and I just read over and over the sign that was hanging on the door that said, "Please use other door." Grandma was belly laughing. You remember that, I know, Grandma. And I just kept saying, "Please use other door." He tried and tried to get in there, and Grandma Sue and I laughed and laughed. That's like my funniest memory. Anyway, happy birthday, Grandma. I love you.
Hi, Grandma. When we got this request for the video, we were trying to come up with ideas, and we decided the two things you love the most is family and, of course, the St. Louis Cardinals. They also told us to throw some memories in, and Jill, we'll start with you.
I love your chocolate pie and chocolate chip cookies.
I always liked your corn chowder that you made.
I think your corn chowder was the bomb.
I always enjoyed going up there during the summers. Always had great vegetables out of the garden. We always went to the little store on the corner. Going all the garage sales with you. I'm gonna bring something way out of the archives here, Grandma. I don't know if you remember this little guy, but I'm guessing him to be around 46, 47 years old, and I called him Man, but he's still surviving. So I think right now we'll just finish it off and say, Grandma, happy 100th birthday. We love you.
Happy birthday, Grandma. Love you.
Love you too.
Hi Grandma Sue, it's Clay. Just wanted to wish you a very happy 100th birthday. And, I was thinking a lot about the times we played baseball, both inside, outside, and hockey in our own way, and all the things you did for me over the years. And just wanted to wish you a very happy birthday now that I can appreciate sharing it with you, unlike when I was a child. So, have a great day. I love you very much.
To you.
Happy birthday to Grandma Sue.
Gaga Sue. Gaga Sue. Happy birthday to you.
How old is Gaga Sue turning?
29.
Say 100.
100. Happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday, Grandma. I love you.
We love you.
Hey, Grandma.
Hey, how are you?
We just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Happy 100th.
Happy 100.
We hope you have a great day. We love you so much.
Bye.
Mwah.
Hey, Grandma. We just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Happy 100th birthday.
Hi there. Happy birthday.
Happy 100th birthday, Grandma Sue. We love you. We miss you. Hope to see you soon. I'm so glad we got to dance together at Cole and I's wedding, and I can't wait for you to meet another great grandbaby. Woo! Happy birthday!
Hi Grandma Sue, it's Cole. I just wanted to make this video to wish you a happy 100th birthday from Leeuwarden Air Base in Latvia. I know I can't be there to see you in person, but I know you're aging like a fine wine. I just want to let you know that I love you, I miss you, have a happy birthday, and I'll see you.
Happy birthday, Grandma. I hope your day is as great as you are. Love you.
Hi Grandma, it's Gabrielle and Capri and Ashton, and we just wanted to wish you happy birthday, and we love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hi Grandma, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma Sue.
I had to write things down because I couldn't remember them, and we've tried to do this video a million times, so thank you for allowing me to live with you, for always taking care of me, doing my laundry, fixing me unlimited helpings of your famous macaroni and cheese, sometimes even with bacon, for fixing me toast and tomato for breakfast, lunch, and dinner if I wanted it, writing me notes so I wouldn't forget my lunch, and cutting out newspaper articles to give me tips on dating. Thank goodness I found this guy. Now I don't need those anymore. There was one time I came home from work. It was during tornado season. You had watched the news and a couple in Illinois had survived by getting into their closet. You told me that their entire house was destroyed, but they were okay because they were in the closet. You spent the entire day cleaning out the bedroom closet so that we could both fit in there if needed. Just another example of how you always took care of me. Thank you so much for being an amazing great grandma. We love you.
Love you. See you March 24th for a dance at the wedding.
Ma, happy birthday. I love you. The best birthday gift that I could ever give to you is a combined video of all these clips of me trying to tell you happy birthday. But instead, I'm selfishly going to delete them all. I love you. Happy birthday.
Hey, Grandma Sue, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Hope this is the best one yet.
Hey, Grandma Sue. Happy
Hey, Grandma.
100th birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma. You're 100. I'm planning to follow in your footsteps. I'm going to live to be at least 100. You too, Cole, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Love you.
Love you. Hi, Grandma Sue. Happy 100th birthday. Hope your day is full of love, joy, and laughter. Hugs from Austin, Texas, Allison.
Happy 100th birthday, Grandma Sue.
Ready. Good job.
Happy birthday, Grandma. Hi, Grandma Sue. Happy 100th birthday. Hope you like it.
Hope you like it.
I want to visit you soon. Bye. Hi, Grandma Sue. I hope you have a wonderful 100th birthday. I can't wait to hear some more stories soon. Love you. Bye.
Okay, whose birthday is it?
Grandma Sue's.
Grandma Sue's? Do you want to sing her happy birthday? Okay, ready? Happy birthday.
I doing a project.
Oh, okay. Do you want to still sing happy birthday to her?
No.
No? Do you want to tell her happy birthday one more time?
No.
Could you just say, happy birthday, Grandma Sue?
Happy birthday, Grandma Sue.
Good job, buddy. Hi, Grandma. Happy birthday. Can't believe you're 100, but... Hi, Grandma. I want to tell you happy birthday and also how much I love you and how great... Say happy birthday.
You go first, then I go second. Then it goes back to you. You just said that.
Happy birthday, Grandma Sue.
Happy birthday, Grandma Sue.
Reaching 100 is an awesome accomplishment.
Delete them because they're going to...
Hi, Grandma. Happy birthday.
Stop it. I just burped.
Hey. What up, what up? Happy birthday, Grandma!
Happy birthday.
We had no electricity, no running water. You drew the water out of the well for drinking, for washing, for doing anything. And electricity, we had the plain lamps, and then we were among the first that got Aladdin lamps.
Oh, yeah?
That was with a thing that, I don't know what they called that it was very... as soon as you'd get it, you'd light it and burn it, and then it was like ashes, but it would stay that way, and it would give you a good light up a whole room, you know. But we lived like that we didn't think we were without anything because no one else had water or lights or anything that way. You had water in a well, but not any running water at all. And we lived right on the railroad track because my dad was a railroad man, and this was furnished. Railroad house with two, I think they called them the action houses or something. They were 2-room houses where years ago the people that worked there lived in those. But they were empty when we lived there. There was not a whole lot to tell about those days. There was a grocery store at this town. No, the town listed was just one road running through this town, and the houses that were on the side, like maybe 8 or 10 houses for the whole town of Evansville that lived there. And I've often wondered how they ran the depot for they must have had some kind of a machine that gave them the electric power, you know, because we had no electricity. And they did those, what they call those things they did with their fingers, you know, the guys that ran this depot. My nephew, yeah, it was my nephew. He was just a young boy, and that's where he started learning that and ended up doing that kind of thing.
I'm trying to think what your, like Morse code?
Yeah, that's, and it was, you could just do most anything with your fingers on this thing, you know, but it was some kind of code that they used, but the depot was for, you know, you could go to Hannibal, go in one direction, or all along the way they'd stop off and drop off people, pick up people. Well, we would go to Moberly, which was, like I said, just about 8-10 miles from there, and that's how I got a permanent in my hair. Took all day. We went to Moberly that morning. It seems strange now when I think about it that they had passenger trains just going. You could just pick up a ride, you know. Other people paid, of course, to ride, like to go from Evansville to Moberly. You didn't have to have a ticket ahead of time. But we didn't on account of my dad working for the railroad. We had passes.
Taylor, scooch up a little.
We could go to Kansas City.
Scoot up closer a little bit.
didn't know
I couldn't see you.
You have to learn her fingers. Huh? Now then, about the where I lived in those days, we drew water out of a well. We didn't even have a hose or anything like that. But you'd drop the bucket down and then bring it back up, and that was how we had water for washing things, for drinking, everything. People in those days didn't think about things being purified or anything that way. There was a bucket right as you'd go in the door in the kitchen. There'd be a bucket with a dipper in it, and you could put water in the wash pan that was there if you wanted to wash your hands, or you could take the dipper and pour it into something and drink it right out of that well. And we thought nothing of it at all. Like I say, in that town there probably wasn't any more than 50 people that lived in that town. And it was just one road, but there was a store that sold gasoline, and on the outside of the store, and they sold, I've often wondered myself just how, because I can remember the meat case where it had bologna and that sort of stuff, you know, that I loved. hot dogs and all kinds of stuff. They must have had one of those machines that
Ground it.
gives you electricity, you know. You can hear of them nowadays where people have those. But Italy area, of course, everybody knew everyone else. But my mother, I'll tell you about this. My dad didn't want Mother to learn how to drive. We had a Model T Ford. We were the only people in that area with a car. They went with horses and buggies, and I rode to school with the teacher on the back of her horse for ages. And then when the weather would get nice, she would be driving, I think they called it a sulky, but it was just a little 2-passenger thing that pulled behind a horse, and we would ride to, I think it was 1.25 miles that I went to school. And I used to laugh and say, I walked the mile and picked up the quarter. That was so silly. And but 1.25 miles, that meant 1/4 of a mile plus a mile to school. And all of us would be walking to school until later on when we got a car. No one else around had a car. But so my friends that went to the same school I did, Chandler School, and we, like I said, it was 1.25 miles there to school. And so when my friends moved to Moberly, I was in the 7th grade, and that left me to go to school by myself. So my parents paid the other people for me to go to Moberly school. And that's what I did for the rest of the 7th grade and the 8th grade, 9th grade. That was all in grade school then.
What was your school like?
Oh, it was good. I really imagine going from this country school, though, that had all 8 grades in that one room, and then to go to a school where each grade was in a separate room, you know. And
so, how many kids would have been in when you had all 8 grades?
When I went to Chandler School there'd be, I expect maybe up to 20 or something like it, but it was all grades at once. A teacher that taught me in that school later on, years later, was a teacher in Moberly grade school that I had kindergarten in. I mean, that I was teaching kindergarten in the. It seemed so strange because I could remember her when she was a single woman. See, people would start teaching right out of high school. You didn't have to go to college. You could pass the exam, and that was it. And that's what this woman, Miss Simpson, and she was just a friend, of course, then later on. But when, like I say, when they moved to Moberly, the Haydens that had 2 daughters, Lois and Ruth, and so my mother made arrangements with them for me to, I think she paid them, it seems to be like $3.50 for a week's rent,
rent.
to live with us, stay with them. And she'd bring me on Monday morning, because we had a car. Like I say, we were the only people in Evansville with a car. And my dad at first wouldn't let Mother drive, so he hid the keys, the car keys, and she couldn't find them. And she somehow or another found a way to start the car with somebody had told her how to do it. I don't know, but she got that car started and learned how to drive, and from then on, she did all the driving. But anyway, they boarded me to go to school in Moberly, and Mother would take me on Monday morning, come and get me Friday afternoon. And I soon had friends there in Moberly, and one of them, a special friend, she loved to go home with me for the weekend. And I often think of that. I wasn't embarrassed at all to bring her home with me with no bath, no running water, anything.
Well, did she have it?
Because she lived in Moberly. See,
Oh.
it was after I went to school in Moberly
Right.
and got acquainted with them. And she had everything that way, a bathroom and everything in her home. But she'd love to go to my house with me. And but we just we'd get in the car and go places. It was entertainment for us to maybe go to a place where everybody knew this place, where a little stream. There wasn't a river, but it was a stream where kids could wade in the water, and all the water kind of ran over a little rock and all that cleared it, made it nice. And that was fun, to put on a swimsuit and drive to this place where we could just, wasn't be a crowd there, wouldn't be anybody but us probably that'd be there to do it. But and I can remember when we went to Madison to shop at Temple Stevens. You just probably think about Temple Stevens not being. That was when I was just a little girl, there was a Temple Stevens store.
This was before Walmart's,
And
Taylor.
they would tear off a piece of the meat paper.
Got like a sink. How old were you, do you think?
Now tell me what she said.
When did you get a sink? How old were you?
Oh, to have running water?
Yeah.
We didn't ever in that house because they didn't have running water, and no one did. I've often thought about that. That was about a mile off of the highway where Evansville was, and all the people that lived there was just this one street. It would be like going down the street and no other streets anywhere. And I don't know. I have a feeling that there's nothing there anymore.
So you'd moved to a different house. You were a lot older when you finally got running water?
Oh, yeah. I was going to tell you then, I went to school in Moberly, like I told you, and stayed during the week and went home for weekends. And those two girls were like my sisters to me because I had gone to the grade school with them, and then when they moved, I lived with them during the week. And actually, Lois, I have talked to her since I lived here, but they were both older than me, and I'm sure they're dead now, but at one time there was maybe 4 or 5 going to the school from there. And then that school would take all the country roads and all where people lived, be coming in to go into Chandler. And the 8th grade, I can remember the 8th grade boys looking like grown men. They were so big old farmer boys, that went to school at that school. But was there anything else you wanted? And we didn't have running water or electricity at all. We lit lamps in the rooms. No air conditioning or anything my mother curled my hair with curling irons that she would stick in the lamp that would heat them up, you know, with the curling iron.
In the fire? She'd put it in the fire?
And yeah, not in the fire, just to the heat part of it. I don't know just how that was that she did that, but and they had some of the people had curling irons that they heated on their cook stove too. They'd have a way to do that. We cooked by building a fire in the stove or coal oil. People had coal oil stoves that they used for cooking. And we didn't, any of us feel like we were hard-shipped at all. I mean, we didn't feel like that we were missing anything because nobody else around us had it. But when I stop to think of the change of things, and I think about now, well, how many changes there's been in my life. Just so many. We used to say, I remember one night we were without power on account of the ice had broken down since we lived here, when my husband was still living. See, my husband, let's see, he died, I was trying to think of how old he was, 67. Oh, he lived a long time after we moved here, I know, but I think he died around 35 years ago. And, but he hadn't lived like I had. His mother and father had, but it wasn't that there was no electricity anywhere. It was just where I lived. At the time, there was no power. But as soon as we moved to Moberly, my mother came to pick me up one day, because at the end of the week she would pick me up, and she drove to this house and pulled in the driveway. And I said, "Where are we going here?" And she said, "Just wait a minute." I said, "Get out of the car." And I did, and they had moved and everything, and I had no idea that we were moving to Moberly. And it was on Farrah Street. That was just 2 blocks north of Coates Street. And we lived there a long time in that house. But that was wonderful to me. That was when I was a freshman in high school.
So, did you ever have back then, was there really good houses like this? Back then, did you have really good houses like this? Or like?
Oh, yes. Some of them had good, but not where, like before I was 12 years old, nobody had power. They didn't have electricity in that area. But there was electricity in the cities or around anywhere.
So I think she's wondering, were your houses, were they like this, like big like this, or were they?
Yeah, they could be any size.
In the same type of house?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But the house that we lived in was furnished by the railroad in those days, and it was just very plain. There was 4 rooms to it. And the bunkhouses had 2 rooms. There were 2 bunkhouses in the yard, which we didn't use. In the summer, we'd use them to everything. But, like I say, we were better off than so many of them around at that time, because we at least had a car. Get in the car and go to Madison. I started taking piano lessons when I was, I don't know, I was maybe 6 or 7 years old when I started taking piano lessons in Madison, because we had a car and we'd go down there and they would, people would gather around. People gathered in a grocery store even, would sit out in front and visit, you know. People don't visit anymore.
Too
If
much
they
of
do
it.
it so over the computer. When I see people on TV going up and down the street doing their stuff on there, and I think, my goodness, think of that. They don't stop to visit with anybody that they see or anything, you
That's
know.
sad.
And but it was really something. No, we didn't live like on a farm. We lived in the country, but we didn't live on a farm. So we didn't have cows and horses and things that way.
So you didn't have any milk?
We just would buy it. We could buy it from people we didn't have it to. But it was raw milk, if you know what that means. It wasn't filtered or anything, just plain milk. And cream would rise to the top, and then you'd skim off the cream if you wanted whipped cream or something. And I liked milk and cream and stuff that way, and we bought it. But just imagine, we had no way of keeping anything. A lot of the people would, during the winter when the ice was formed and be real thick ice on their ponds, they would chop a lot of that off and save it, and they would have it in a cellar. It was called a cellar. That's like a basement that would be out in your yard. You would open this door to it and go down some steps, and there was where you could keep all your canned vegetables and things that you'd home canned, of course. And therefore they would do the ice like that, and a lot of people would be able to keep some of it. It wouldn't be good to make your iced tea with or anything. They probably would, but it would have taste to it.
But that's how they made their refrigerator or freezer. They kept things cold for longer.
If they could, yeah, it would keep it for a while. You would have just containers that would hold the ice. Oh, my land, after I was married for a long time, we had and Dad would go way back of us was where the trains would come through there to the ice house and get ice, and my dad would take a little pull wagon like that we had, a toy wagon, and he'd go back over there and bring up big chunks of ice, you know, where they just throw it out and spill it. We just don't think about all those things that we have that's so wonderful anymore. And thank goodness for that. Is there anything else you'd like to ask about?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Did you have as much food as we had today at the grocery store?
No. No, they didn't have the fresh vegetables and things like that at the store. People raised their own, you know. Everybody had a garden, even if they'd have a big garden where they could can things. But no, the stores didn't even have fresh vegetables and all. That was
my shirt on backwards. No, because the tabs are here. I was thinking it because it's like hitting
turn
my
around,
neck.
let me see the back. No, that looks right back there.
I think
doesn't
she's
it?
got it backwards, yeah. You can change it in a second.
I put on a top bus, but you had to go right by our house. And Mother made arrangements with her. And I rode on the horse with her. She drove to, I often have thought about that, how May Mills was her name. And she would put me on the horse behind her. And then later on, when the weather'd be nice, she had a sulky. They called him a sulky, just that pulled behind one horse, you know. And boy, we rode to school and home and that. too, but because we didn't have any animals of any. Well, I had a pet chicken. I had a pet pig. Somebody gave me, and but it didn't live to get to. I probably wouldn't let them kill it to eat or anything, but somebody, it was a runt, you know. Every once in a while, pigs will come up like that where they're a runt, and the mother just pushes them to one side and doesn't feed them.
You
so
know that
we
story,
fed in a
don't you?
bottle and
Sounds like Charlotte's Web, doesn't it?
That's what they did in the beginning, because the mom pig had like lots of babies. She had like 12. But then the littlest one couldn't get in there to get milk. So the Dallas dad was gonna kill him. But then the little girl, she didn't want that to happen, so instead she just fed it bottle.
Bottle, yeah, that's the way we did that one that was given to us. But we fed it pet milk. You learn to do with a lot of that kind of stuff. See, I never did like coffee with pet milk in it. Of course, I shouldn't have had coffee at that age anyway, and I didn't very much, but that kept me from drinking it. But we didn't have fresh things. We had canned stuff. But you just stop this era, this generation.
I bet there will be some new things whenever I get a little bit older. Like maybe new electronics or something like that.
Oh yeah, there will be other things coming up, but a big change has been in the whole country in the last few centuries. As long as I'm sitting in this chair, I don't have an ache or a pain.
Well, that's
I
awesome.
don't have anything to hurt me, but if I'm up on my feet very long, my back feels like it's just breaking in two. It's the lack of muscle, I think, a lot of it, because I have no muscles left. My arms are just like flab, you know, and so therefore I don't have enough strength in my legs or anything to. But thank goodness we have these kind of things, walkers and wheelchairs. Yeah, right.